G'day guys and welcome to DCS Huey. Today I am flying in a hover. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. This is the first time I've loaded up the mission editor with the Huey with the idea of actually practicing hovering and taxiing. I've done about 2 or 3 campaign missions and I've realised I'm pretty good at the easy stuff, but when it comes to landing on a helipad or transitioning or taxiing, I don't have the best control. So I thought, just like learning how to edit air refuel, I would load the editor and just practice it until I was pretty good. So that's what I've done here. And you can see in the top left the axes are showing. So if you want to see what my inputs are that I'm putting in here, those are shown there. And I've actually modified my controls as well. So I'm using the Uh-1H Warthog by Thrustmaster. And I've got my axis curves to 34, which is quite curvy. So I've kind of done a little bit of a hover there. It wasn't so good to begin with, but the other thing I wanted to practice was taxiing, where I can control the speed, because I did taxi my very first flight, but I was kind of like a kid on a bicycle that, you know, could ride a bike as long as I went really fast and did wide curves, kind of pretended like I was in control. So I just wanted to taxi very slowly. You can see here I've gone into a hover again, so just practicing going from taxi to hover without putting it down or lurching off. And it's, you know, it's not perfectly still, but I think for a Huey that's probably about as good as I'm gonna get anytime soon. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that for what is, you know, a game that's two days old and still in beta. So I cut the corner here a little bit because what good is flying a helicopter if you can't cut corners? So yeah, just following the lines, heading off towards the runway. And yeah, flying within the ground effect is lots of fun. Actually, once you kind of get it under control, it's really neat. It's kind of like flying a hovercraft, I suppose. So I still think something has changed with the world, the graphics, the lighting engine, the textures, or something like that. They seem to be different. Maybe some settings changed when I uninstalled and reinstalled the game to get the update. So I'm just heading off towards the runway. This is Batumi, and I'll actually put it down just up here. And there's one thing I forgot to do when I started this aircraft up, and that's to reset the master caution alarm. That's that orange light that you see there. And I am flying a fully loaded Huey, so it's pretty heavy, like full on fuel anyway. I'm not sure if I can load cargo or artificial weight very easily. So I'll just, there we go, I've resetted the master caution and have a quick check that the runway is clear, but in the mission editor I added nothing else, so I know it is totally clear. Alright, so just going to lift the helicopter off again. You can see lifting off you input it's kind of almost a random amount of left rudder, and you center the stick back and left, and that's only in outside of the transitional lift. So well, I'm not sure if you do that with outside of ground effect as well, but I assume so. So here I'm just basically going to continue on the taxi and pick up a little bit of speed and take off, but that's not so interesting, just flying around the runway. You can see the buffeting start there. Okay, so we are back, and we've just done a quick flood around, coming back to Batumi. One thing which is highlighted a few times in the campaign is actually knowing where to land and parking your helicopter in the correct parking space. So I'm going to pick a particular spot that I was at and try and land there as accurately as I can, without any third person, at least to begin with anyway. So taxiing back into the sun, which I think looks quite nice, although I think DCS could use a pair of sunglasses. If you could have a pair of sunglasses that you could put on, that would be very nice. Right, so the parking spots are basically the red octagons, I think they are, hexagons. So I'll just swing it around. can see you never have a moment's rest from putting in different cyclic and rudder inputs. So it's kind of a stop-start attempt to hover here and get the position right. Just 1 or 2 feet off the ground, and I'm parked. It's pretty much where I wanted it. Haven't hit anything, so that's good. It's almost. Alright, so I hope they found that interesting. It is DCS, which is and build some tea.